everyone, and welcome to Species Center Stage for Thursday, August 17th, 2023. I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary, and this week I'm featuring Morelia, Bredl, Din Djarin. Din is being featured this week not just because I am in love with Bredl's pythons and could talk about them every week, but because he surprised me earlier this week with an amazing behavior. Din is a hypomelanistic stonewashed Morelia Bredli produced by Ralph Polinksi. He was hatched on July 17th, 2021, and he hasn't been here very long. He just arrived over a month ago on June 7th, 2023. Now, he has what I think is a pretty neat enclosure if you're an active snake that likes to climb. It's a Critter Nation habitat with 4 levels. It's got branches, perching, sky hides, ground hides. It has a dirt level with real soil to simulate the ground. He has UVB, he has halogen heat, he has a basking surface, he has lots of fresh air and visibility in case he wants to see what's going on around him. And he seemed pretty content in there. The dimensions are 4 by 2 by 3 feet. Well, this week I came in from feeding horses and found him out roaming around in my office. I had not let him out, and his cage was still secure. I was perplexed as to how he got out of the very secure and sturdy enclosure with just 1 centimeter bars. So I put him away and found him out again on the very next night. I put him away again, and then on the 3rd night, I spied on him and discovered that he was squeezing his thick body between the 1 centimeter opening. Now, he's in a 4 by 4 by 3 mesh enclosure now, secured all around with netting until I decide what type and size of permanent enclosure to put him in. But this is a good reminder of just how well snakes problem solve and learn, and that once they do something and learn it one time and find that it was beneficial or reinforcing for them, they will repeat the behavior. It's also a wake-up call to just how much they're able to compress, flatten, and squeeze their bodies into and through very small spaces when they are motivated to do so. Din is 1 to 2 inches thick from top to bottom or dorsally to ventrally when he's not compressed. And that's only about 2.5 centimeters to just over 5 centimeters, depending on where you're measuring him. And he's able to get himself through a 1 centimeter wide set of bars. That's crazy. I think they are giving a little bit or bending slightly, but still, wow, that's just 4/10 of an inch. This whole experience with Din and seeing his extreme motivation to get out of what I think is a very enriching and stimulating enclosure for his species just brings me back to the 2010 review paper called Born to Choose about the origins and value of the need for control. It's by Leotti et al. And the authors of that review paper conclude that there is evidence to suggest that the desire to exercise control and the desire to make choices is paramount for survival. The authors point out in their review that evidence suggests the desire for control is not acquired through learning, but that it's innate and biologically motivated. Organisms are born to choose. In other words, the desire for control is present in non-human animals and even in human infants before any societal or cultural influence or learning has taken place. Evidence supports that organisms have evolved to find control rewarding or reinforcing, and the absence of control punishing or aversive. Freedom is, in fact, a primary reinforcer, right up there with things like food and water and thermoregulation and reproduction. Loss of freedom and the absence of control, or the absence of perceived control, which we call agency, is distressing and innately aversive. Once again, I just want to remind everyone that research indicates that agency or the perception of control is so vitally important in stress coping, resilience, and in the ability to adapt to change. And that goes for all animals, humans and non-human animals alike. The desire for control, the ability to learn and to modify behavior, to make choices and to have the freedom to behave in ways to control or make changes to circumstances and the environment is an evolutionary adaptation for survival. If snakes or other animals were not free to make choices beneficial to them in any given situation, they would not survive very well or for very long. Think of it like this. Eating is necessary for survival, but eating whatever is in front of you could prove fatal. So the ability to learn from experience, to exercise control over what to eat and when to eat is critical to survival. And the freedom to act on individual preferences about what you would like to eat allows individuals to thrive. I would say that Din is a perfect example of all of these things because he worked so hard, not once, but repeatedly, to get out of what I think is a very stimulating and enriched habitat that has things in it that are enabling him to do species typical behaviors, and yet that wasn't enough. He wanted his freedom, and I found him loose in my office, roaming around, climbing on random things that he wouldn't find in his natural habitat. But he had that experience once, and he found something reinforcing about it because now he is seeking to repeat it over and over and over again. Well, everybody, that does it for this episode and for this week's Adventures with Din, which maybe I will have to make a new series if he continues to challenge me to keep him occupied. I have several habitat options available for him. I just have to make a decision as to which type of confinement he will resent the least and not be able to escape from. I will, of course, allow him out for exercise time and free roaming when I am here to watch him, but I really want him to be content within his habitat when he does need to be confined for his safety. I will link that layote paper in the video description for you to read on your own, which I highly encourage and recommend. And until next time, everyone, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.